Sounds
let's
good.
jump in. Let's jump in. Okay, so yeah, do you want to introduce yourself just really quick?
My name is Echo, and I help people with spiritual awakening. I'm working on my first book right now, which is a guide to spiritual awakening, and I coach people. And I'm a creator and designer and a musician and artist and all sorts of different things. And I'm just looking to help connect with more people who are going through the process and help them move along and successfully, I should say, because it's a bit chaotic at times.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you for that. I'm Renez, and I am a spiritual wellness coach and also Akashic Records reader. I help people move through just spirituality and kind of get their toes wet, but also help them move through major life shifts and changes, and with the help of the Akashic Records. So if you guys don't know about Akashic Records, that's a whole nother segment, but they're a wonderful tool to utilize while navigating this very dense journey on planet Earth. So that's us, and yeah, let's just go for it. Let's dive in. I'm so excited. So whatever, I feel like I'm gonna let you start because I am.
Oh, no worries, no worries. So basically, the title of this is State of Mind at Sleep, and we're moving through the process of how do we first prep ourselves to be in a proper state of mind to take off for the sleep journey. A little bit about what that sleep journey, that astral travel, that dream world can be for each one of us based on where we want to go, what we're able to connect to, and how we want to experience that part of our existence. And then returning back to the 3D dream and the body and this vehicle. It's my little robot dance there. The first bit, of course, is prepping yourself for state of mind at sleep. So a lot of times, a lot of things during the day can come at us. Maybe we feel a little bit overwhelmed, maybe a little weighted, maybe a little tired. Maybe we're thinking back about something that happened that didn't go as well as we had wanted it to. But that happens to us regularly, especially right now, in a chaotic time. One of the good ways is to replay your day and rewrite any of those memories, anything that happened in your day, not to the effect that you wanted it to. You can reimagine what happened as though it went successfully, as though it went with the outcome that you really wanted it to. That's just one little tip. There's many ways to prepare your mind for the process. Ultimately, what we want to do is make sure that you're in a space where you are comfortable, undisturbed, hopefully very dark, very quiet, if that's what's appropriate for you. Maybe even the eye mask, maybe some isochronic tones or binaural beats, etc. But get yourself in the spot where you can relax, visualize what it is you want to be experiencing, maybe take an idea of what your dream life, your dream reality is, and visualize all of that coming forth to a point where you can feel it. How about you? How do you get prepped up to go?
So here's what I've learned that works the best for me is that if I know I want to be sleeping by 10:30, let's say, then I'm actually in bed at 10 because I spend a good 20 to 30 minutes visualizing before I go to bed. And I think you honestly have to plan this out before you decide, okay, I want to be sleeping by X time. Because you mentioned it, there's this whole rewind that happens that I do, right? And it is literally me thinking back from when I got up, and I go through every single moment of my day that happened. And what that teaches me, number one, it builds your muscle strength in your brain to recall memories, everything. And so you're building that, but it's also allowing you to go and correct other, things that, if you want to, that did not go your way during the day, which you mentioned. I do that first, and that's usually, 5 minutes or something. Then I go into, okay, my ultimate real visualization of what I'm actually trying to attain right now. So what is it? What is that scenario? And I think of it as a movie. And how I project it, and people do this differently, but how I project it in my mind is that I picture it like a blank screen in front of me, and there's a projection, a movie that is playing, and am I am playing that movie from my own head. And so now I'm projecting on this screen the movie that I wish to see and have in my awakening reality. And so it's the same one every night. What I've been taught was that use the same visualization over and over. So if you want something particular, if you want that car, you want that house, like, don't keep changing up the size and the look of it. Like, stick to the one, and like, like,
Right.
that's what's going to get you there faster. So I stick to the same one, and maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I stick to the same one because I know what I know what I want, and so I'm just going for that. Yeah. So then I visualize, and I honestly, that takes a while because I actually jump into the feeling of it. There's times where I visualize and I have tears running down my face because I'm so happy that it's happening in that moment. And that's where you want to be, that sweet spot where you feel the emotions in your body as if you are living that moment right now. And that's how the brain does not realize, like, oh, this is dreaming versus visualization versus 3D. Like, it cannot tell the difference. So hence the emotion, if you want to speed up your manifestations, is obviously having that emotion attached to the visualization. So that's my process. And sometimes I throw in like some Blue Lotus tea, and then I like really just shoot out there.
Right.
If you guys don't know, Blue Lotus tea is a tea it's a bedtime tea, but it also helps with lucid dreaming. And it's potent if you steep it for like 10 minutes. But it really does help. I drank some the other night on the full moon, and I was out of here. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, that's great. I think there's a lot of there's people that talk about the projection of watching yourself on the screen that you want to experience, and then there's people that talk about being within the movie itself. So you're not seeing yourself in the movie, you're seeing the movie from your eyes. And those are just two different ways, and there's so many different types of people and ways to do this that each person's going to find the way that works best for them. Ultimately, like you said, though, it is, I feel, about feeling what it's all about, getting to that feeling. And a lot of this is taken from the Neville Goddard's teaching. And of course, one of his main things is the feeling is the secret. So that would be some of the scenarios about how we want to prep ourselves, our situation, our room, our mind, and our overall body and heart. Because usually it's like, well, what do I really love or want to experience for that moment when we take off to the dream world.
So this particular topic came up when I was studying with Dolores Cannon, and so as we lay down and we fall asleep, our bodies we never stay in our bodies when we sleep. And so what that means is that there is this silver cord that is attached to us, and then we go out and we can traverse anywhere that we want in the universe, basically. There's no limit. Like, you can go anywhere that you want to, and the silver cord is what allows us to also be tied back to this reality. So when it is morning time and we are coming back to our bodies, it's like that silver cord gets reeled in, and we come back and we come back and we come back, and then before you know it, you're awake, and we're back to our normal reality. But for people to wrap their head around, oh my God, I'm not in my body at night, like I actually go somewhere, like, yeah, you can actually, you do, like you go talk to, like, you can be in other dimensions, you can talk to spirit guides, you can talk to deceased grandparents, like, it's all available to you. So sometimes that blows people's mind, and they're like, yeah, I don't know how that happens, but like, don't shoot the messenger.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think
So
one of the ways that I've described it before, and I've probably heard it from others, is kind of like if you come home at night and you drive your car into the garage and you park the car in the garage. That car is technically a vehicle, just like our body is a vehicle. So the car, you drive home, put it in the garage, you park it, and you exit the car and go into the house. So all night long, that car most likely is going to be in the garage with nobody necessarily driving it, nobody in it. The same thing sort of happens with our body as we're sleeping. We park the vehicle of the body in the bed, we go to sleep, and we take off out of the vehicle and we start to enjoy a different experience. And then we come back when we're ready into the body and wake up in this experience. And so that's one way to kind of relate when you're first starting, because the lucid dreaming, the astral travel, those worlds can be so magnificent, so fantastic that they're just mind-blowing. Like you said, when you're just first experiencing it, first jumping into that. And probably one of the weirdest, but also probably the most awesome moments is when you get outside and you're fully conscious and you see your own body and you say, okay, that's me over there on the bed, but I'm also here at the same time. And so if that's me, then this is me, then oh my gosh, what does that mean? And from there, it's just the exploration of all that's possible within the astral level. It's always a fun adventure, and there's a lot of things that anyone can really do when they master those skills.
yeah, it can also be a scary adventure at times as well. So
Absolutely.
I,
Absolutely.
I've ran into some scary ass beings and like had to like, oh, it was bad. It was dark. I've been to some dark places. And it is like, why am I here? And I guess I had to like battle. I had to go and do some work, and I don't know, but it's just, you wake up and you're like, oh my God, that was insane. So that happens too. Like, it's not all fun
absolutely.
all the time.
Absolutely. And you talk about projection, and I think some of that is the projection of the shadow within us. Any parts as are going through the process that we want to refine and take from that coal into the diamond of being able to shine our light. Like the word guru basically means darkness and light. So it basically means light from the darkness. And that's basically what we're working to become, not necessarily a guru, but to be able to shine our light from the darkness. And, dream world for the most people is at night, in the dark. Our eyes are closed, so we're in the dark. There's so many things that represent the darkness, but yet the experiences that we have at times, well, what do you talk about dreams? What's your dream? What is your dream? However you want to put that. That usually lights people up, even though we dream in the dark. So there's all these different connections to how we are able to find what it is we're really here to do, what really lights us up. And sometimes that means we got to go to the depths of the darkness to find what that is and battle our way through, kind of like a video game. So I don't necessarily recommend people dive into lucid dreaming or astral travel right away. It can be tricky. It can be, scary. I probably set out maybe a bit quicker than I could have, not really knowing what was going to happen. And, you deal with it and you keep moving forward, hopefully, and you keep going through the same lessons until you learn them and move through whatever they are. In my experience, a lot of times it becomes the question of an answer that doesn't lie within duality. So a lot of times we're forced with fight or flight. So let's say you see a tiger that's hungry. Are you going to fight the tiger or are you going to run from the tiger? Both of those still lie within the world of duality, of fight or flight. What's the answer maybe? Well, maybe you pet the tiger. Maybe there's something that's outside of the normal realm of human regular thought, and you give the tiger a hug, and now you have a new friend. And there's all sorts of different ways that we maneuver through the video game of the astral level, and we learn more about ourselves and where we're going. In my experience, the idea of as above, so below, or as below, so above, has to do with, in some part, the physical reality and the dream world. What can you connect to during your dreams that then you can bring back into the real world? And this is where you get into collective consciousness. You get into inventions or ideas or songs or all sorts of things. James Cameron, who did Avatar, he said that he had channeled almost all of that through lucid dreaming, the ideas. And if you watch the movie, which at the time was the highest grossing film of all time, it really is just a metaphor for lucid dreaming. The main character is sleeping in his pod, and he's out there on the blue planet running around at the same time. So there's a lot of things that are possible if we're able to tap into those skills. But like you said, it's not all puppy dogs and rainbow.
No, it is not. It is not for the faint. Yeah, I would say definitely don't go try to dive into lucid dreaming if you've never even heard of what it was.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of songs and movies. I mean, you talk about Inception, and there's a lot of songs out there now talking about lucid dreaming and musician, I guess, recording artists talking about it. And there's fantastic things to be gained by it, but just like anything, if you want to get in great shape, you got to go do the work. You got to do the darkness, the hard part of whatever that's going to be like. Or if you want to build a business, it's got to be that extra effort, that persistence, that consistency, that you put in the energy, the focus toward that thing to become successful. And this is just the same way. I feel like the benefits from that process can create an individual world that a lot of people would have never imagined for themselves before, because it comes from connection to source and our higher self. And that's something that really changed my life in a way, when I was able to connect with my higher self through that process. So after, if you do dive in and you go out there and you hug some tigers and fight some dragons or whatever else it might be, and we come back into the body, then we wake up again and experience what this is, here and now. There's so much more to our existence than we ever thought.
I mean, multiple levels of deepness here that, I mean, that chat could go on for hours and hours and hours. But yeah, I'm so glad that we got to talk about this today. There's been interest. Usually full moons bring out a lot of weird, interesting dreams and like whatever you need to process. And so it's been a wild week, and my dreams have been insane. I haven't had good sleep. And so this is just like the perfect topic to like end my week, and like hopefully I actually get some good sleep tonight and I get to sleep in tomorrow. So and have great astral travels and tonight. So
Absolutely.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing.
Likewise.
I always love your perspective and love catching up with you, and I look forward to our next one. I don't know what we're going to be talking about, but it's going to be amazing. So, cool. Well,
excellent. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, and good luck with your astral travels tonight. Hopefully they're smooth and, fulfilling.
Thank you. So we're going to let you guys go. We're not going to keep this very long. And thank you all for joining. Thank you for participating. And we'll see you guys on the next one.